welcome back to the Pretty Normal Me vlog. I'm Em Clarkson, and today I wanted to talk about the books that I am absolutely loving at the moment, or have loved and really want to recommend to all of you. So there are 4 books here. They are all non-fiction. They are almost, I wouldn't use the word self-help, but they are great books, all slightly focusing on mental health and general well-being, and sort of, I guess they probably are self-help books to a degree, but you'll kind of see what I mean once I've recommended them. I have been reading all, it's taken me a while. I'm normally a really nifty reader. It's taken me a fair while to get through them all just because I've been busy and I've been knitting and all that fun stuff. So a few of you who follow me on Instagram and stuff will have seen that I have been reading these for quite a while, but someone asked last week if I'd do a video sort of pulling them all together, so I thought, why not? These, I've loved them and they were great, and so I'd like to recommend them. I'm going to apologise now for the state of what is going on my head. Those of you in England will know that Storm Angus has well and truly effing battered London, and I literally looked like a drowned little rat when I got home yesterday. Bua looked even worse. So this is the frizziest hair in all the land, and I need my roots doing. I'm not proud of it, but here we are. So number 1 book on my list is called We're All Mad Here. So this is by Claire Eastham, who I met about 2 weeks ago, and I loved her so much, and I was so privileged to meet someone who's written a book, like, I don't know, I just thought it was so cool. So she wrote this book about her struggle with social anxiety, and it's amazing. It's not too big, so it's very good, but for anyone struggling, I don't feel like there are a whole load of books on the market that focus just on social anxiety. So this book is a collection of chapters about all the things that Claire herself has been through on her journey, although I hate that word, through any illness, on her journey through life. But it's incredible. So she's looking at every different element of anxiety and how it's affected her life, and it's a lot of tips. She's giving tips of how she dealt with it and how she'd like to help you deal with it. And I think it's a really great book. If you don't follow her on Twitter and her blog, We're All Mad Here, you definitely should, because she writes some really cool stuff. But this book, if you know anyone struggling with social anxiety, would probably make a really good Christmas present. But just for yourself, I don't actually struggle with it, and I still found this book incredibly enlightening, and I learned a lot about the illness from reading it, and I learned a lot about dealing with my everyday as well, and my everyday insecurities and my everyday panics from reading it as well. So I thought this was a really good one, and like I say, it's not too big. It came out yesterday, so go and buy it. There hasn't been many reviews on it and stuff, obviously, because it is so new to coming out, but I definitely recommend it with all of my heart. So go and get yourself a copy, because this is fabulous. The second book that I am recommending this has got a very morbid title, but is a very great book, and it's called Reasons to Stay Alive, and it's by Matt Haig. This I got through in a day. It was a really quick read, and the reviews were amazing. I mean, the Sunday Times said warm and engaging and shot through with humour. Joe Brand said a really great read and essential to our collective well-being. Simon Mayo, maybe the most important book I've read this year. Sunday Express, tender, candid, inspiring. Rev Richard Coles said brilliant, should be on prescription. And the Daily Mail, short, positive, accessible. What the Reverend said, brilliant, should be on prescription, I totally agree with. I really enjoyed this book. It's interesting. It isn't the cheeriest book you've ever read. I probably ought to say that now, but I did feel like I learned a lot from reading it, and it's all kind of, it's about Matt's story, and he's battled hugely with mental health illnesses in the past, and I think, or it still is, and I think it's a great book. Actually, I really recommend it. The other review I've just seen is Joanna Lumley's on the front saying a small masterpiece that might even save lives. I would agree with her. I think if you are battling depression, this book is incredible, and it's definitely, even if you're not, it's definitely worth the read, just to understand the world around it. And like I say, it's not huge. I did read it in a day, and I'm a quick reader, but it's one of these books you don't really want to put down, and it is educational as well, so you know, you don't feel like you're hugely invested in a story that you want to make last. It's more of a book that you just want to absorb, if that makes sense. So if this is the kind of book that you like, then I definitely recommend it. And then these 2 books are a little bit different. The next book that I'm recommending, and this one is heavy, so I need both arms, is by Laura Bates, and it's called Girl Up. She has written 2 books This is her second. Her first one is called Everyday Sexism, and that should be on prescription. If you haven't read that, you must read that, because that book changed everything for me. It changed feminism for me. It changed my stance on everything. It's an incredible book. This is her second book, and this I would consider to be more of a self-help guide. So if you read the back, it's completely in line with everything I say on Pretty Normal Me. They say you need to be thin and beautiful. They told you to wear longer skirts, avoid going out late at night, and move in groups. Wear shoes you can run more easily than heels. Dress to flatter your apple pear, hourglass figure, but don't look like a slut. They said if you're strong or opinionated, you'll be shrill, bossy, a ball breaker. They said that's not for girls. Take it as a compliment, don't rock the boat. They told you beauty is on the inside, but you knew they didn't really mean it. Well, screw that. I'm here to tell you something else. That gives me goosebumps just reading that, even though I read it a bit wrong, sorry. It's an incredible book, it really is. I really enjoyed this. It is a whole different note. I mean, it's a very funny book to read on the tube, and I'm going to show you why, because I learned this the hard way. I mean, this was a funny page. This is the clitoris, and this is all the things it's the same size as, and they've got a lot of diagrams in here, and I remember reading it, I'll tell you what it was, the page that I was reading on the tube, when some chap just looked over my shoulder and it says masturbation is normal. It's a very, very no-nonsense book. It's, if you've got daughters, or if you are a teenager, this book, I mean, whatever age you are really, but if you've got daughters, buy this book for them. It's incredible. I learned a lot. It makes you feel normal, and that is the Pretty Normal Me message through and through. So I love this book, really recommend this book, and I just think the packaging is awesome as well. I love the pictures, and I love how heavy it is. I love that it's bright orange, and I just love its strong feminist message. So yes, Laura Bates, great book, highly recommended, guys. And then this last book is the book that I have been in love with. I've talked about on every single social media channel ever for the last however long, and that is Mad Girl by Bryony Gordon. I just think Bryony Gordon is incredible. She wrote another book called The Wrong Knickers a couple of years ago, which was the first book that I was asked to read by my editor when my book was dreamt up, and since then Bryony's been a huge, huge inspiration to me. This book has just confirmed that a million times. It is about her battle with bulimia, alopecia, and depression and OCD. It is incredible, and drugs actually as well. It's a really, really, really amazing book. It's properly funny, like laugh out loud funny, and so educational and so honest. I honestly, it's probably all of my girlfriends that I've seen have either read this or I've sent it to them, because I just think every single woman should read this book. It is incredible. I think it's probably out in paperback now. I've got the hardback copy now, which I've slightly trashed because I've had it in my handbag and on my bedside table and everywhere I've gone for the last however long it took me to read. I just think it is incredible, and I love Bryony Gordon. She writes for The Telegraph, and she's got some really, I've literally just paid the Telegraph subscription just so I can read her stuff. Like, I think she's golden, and that book is absolutely amazing. So there they are. There are our 4 books. That I know that they're not fiction books. They're probably not, if you really enjoy getting involved in a story, these books probably aren't for you, but I always did, and I still love, love, love reading stories and reading fiction books, but I've just taken a break and only read non-fiction for the past couple of months, and I've absolutely loved these ones, and I think you will too. They are educational, informative, funny, honest, and they just make me feel, I feel like I'm learning when I'm reading them, and that's really amazing, because I think I read a lot of blogs and I read a lot of online stuff, which is great, but then I forget, you know, after a couple of days, what I've read is I've forgotten, and then I can't find it again, and everything I took on board will slowly be replaced with other things, whereas when you've got it in a book and you're reading it, you can go back to that page, or you can fold it over, or you can reread it, and I found that really cool, and I love getting to know the women and that behind these books. I think that makes whatever I'm going through or whatever anyone else is going through a lot easier, because you are going through it with them, or they're inviting you on their journey, and I think that's really special. There we go, journey again. But I think it's really special, and I've just loved these books. So if you're looking for books to read over the Christmas period, perhaps when you've got some time off work or studying, then these are my recommendations. Oh, heavy, I'm like a little library. So Mad Girl, Girl Up, Reasons to Stay Alive, and We're All Mad Here are my Pretty Normal Me recommendations for reading this Christmas. If you'd like to see one, I will do a fiction one next because I have those suggestions coming out of my ears. I'm a huge war buff, like I love reading about the world wars, which is perhaps unlikely looking at me, probably didn't see that one coming, but there we go. So I've got a lot of books, if that's what tickles your fancy, that I can recommend. But in line with Pretty Normal Me, these are the books that we as a blog have been collectively loving this autumn, this winter. So highly recommended. I'm going to put the links to all 4 books down below so you can go and get yourself a copy. If you read them, please let me know what you think. I hope you enjoy them. And obviously if you want to see another one of these videos, give it a thumbs up and let me know. But otherwise, I hope you have a lovely evening and rest of the week, and I will see you all soon. Please subscribe, please follow us on all our various channels, and no, I don't think I can pull that one off. Click my way out. Doesn't help by the... There we go. And click it out. It was lovely talking to you, and I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you'd like to see next in the comments. Alright, lots of love, please subscribe. Thanks, bye!